Hey, Evan,
What?
why do cows make great employees?
Why?
Because they're outstanding in their fields. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Engage, a family gaming podcast. This is episode 151, and I am your host, Stephen Duetzmann. This is the official video game and board game podcast for EngageFamilyGaming.com. EFG is a website where parents like myself and my co-hosts come together to give parents and families the information they need to get their family game on. This week, as I promised last week, it's another board game podcast. I know you video game folks, you'll be fine. We'll get back to it. But we got to go where the news is. And this past weekend was the Boston Festival of Independent Games, which, by all accounts, is where a lot of the magic happens in the Northeast for board games. So we wanted, and we had someone there. That would be my co-host and our board game editor, Linda Roble. How are you, Linda?
I'm doing well, slowly recovering from a lot of walking this weekend.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that. And also our regular board game co-host, who took a little bit of time off because he had some family stuff to attend to. But Rob Kalajian of Upon's Perspective is back in the house. How are you, sir?
Yo.
Yo. Yo. All right. That was pretty animated. That's fine. So the two of you went to the Boston Festival of Independent Games, and you enjoyed yourselves. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So this is one of the first years I have not been in the last bunch of years. I was at a wedding, but also I was recovering from abdominal surgery. So I was not going to be... the walking thing was not necessarily my shtick. I did a lot of sitting. So, yeah, it just wouldn't have worked out. So I'm glad that you guys were there. So you can pass the message on to our audience as far as what games are on the horizon that they need to hear about. But before we do that, I do want to take a moment to thank our listeners for listening this week. We hope the games that you've played have been great. I know I've been playing some good stuff, and I hear reports that you guys played some fun stuff too while you were at BFIG. We do want our podcast to be as interactive as possible, so please feel free to reach out to us on our Facebook page at either EngageFamilyGaming.com/Facebook or Facebook.com/EngageFamilyGaming. We're fancy like that. With any comments, questions, topic suggestions, etc. So, what I really would like to hear from the two of you guys, in lieu of Around the Horn, because really we're just going to talk about the games you played. What was the general vibe at BFIG this year? Like, was it similar to past years? Was it a little bit different? What do you think?
It was, there was a really, really good crowd this year.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, I've only been there 2 years now, so last year and this year, but there definitely seemed to be a lot more people this year, and I had a really hard time playing games. I had a hard time getting seats. As Linda knows, she actually ran across the hall to grab me so I could sit down and play Life Syphon because some chairs had opened up. There was a lot of people, and I mean, it was great. There was a lot of happy faces, a lot of cool looking games, and just a lot of people walking through.
Great. So attendance was up this year compared to last year?
At least it seemed that way.
Okay. What did you think, Linda?
It definitely did seem a bit busier. There were certain games that I was trying to make it a point to play that I saw at CT-FIG and was not able to get a seat at the table. So those were my priorities. Rob described it mildly. I was stalking the Lay Waste Games booth. My sister was able to join me, and the two of us were just like hanging out. We saw the game had been going on for a while, and when it was in the final stages, my sister stood guard over the table, and I shamelessly ran across the room to go get Rob.
It was awesome.
It was great.
Listen, you got to do what you got to do.
It's true.
I've done my share of running at conventions, so I really can't get too mad about that. So, well, I mean, let's talk about it. So, Linda, so I have played Life Siphon before. So,
Yes.
and I think Rob did at CTFig.
No, I was not at CT
That's
Fig this
right.
year because I was at the beach.
That's right, because you're because you are a bum. So
I am a bum.
So
A beach bum.
Let's talk
Yes.
because I think Lay Waste is one of those games that it's coming to Kickstarter at some point, and it's going to kind of take the world by storm because everything that Lay Waste does that. So tell us, what are your thoughts about Life Syphon? Especially Linda, I'm very curious about your thoughts because you don't play card battling games, and that has a card battling element to it.
Yes. So it was very interesting. I think it's amusing that we actually were battling a little bit incorrectly right out of the gate because we were given some direction, but there was only one person working the booth, and so he was helping to play test, and he was also just talking to people with questions.
Sure.
So we were doing a little wrong at first, but we figured it out. It was a lot of fun to do that. We had a full 4 count at the for playing the game.
Okay.
And just, kind of everybody was figuring it out. So it was a little slow to start because we were figuring it out. And it does seem to start a little on the slower side. But once we got our little figures, you are buying little minions to battle with. And, once we got a couple minions up, then it got more interesting turn to turn to turn.
Sure. Rob, what's the elevator pitch on this game?
So the elevator pitch is that, as the way that they put it is, the world was given some like super awesome stone that's gonna solve all of our problems, and the only thing you can't do is touch it, and we touched it. And so now the world has gone to the pooper, and all
As
and
one
every
does.
yeah, and everyone's fighting over this stone. But the game's mechanic is you have to stay in your little quadrant because there's four quadrants on the board. You can only battle if you're near the stone, and you can only fight the person to your left.
Yep.
And then you're always defending the person on your right. And the first person to defeat the person on their left wins. And your life is your hit points, but your life is also how you're buying minions and casting cards. So you have this balance of using your life to get units, but also kind of keeping it to stay alive.
Sure. So, so when I played, and I don't know if they've made any changes. I mean, the board itself definitely, from the pictures they posted, looks like it was a little fancier. When I played it, it was a black and white board on this little 8x8 piece of corrugated plastic. What kind of new components did they add to the game this time?
They had I guess the artwork for the board, which is kind of almost like this war-torn battlefield. It's got a river running a ring around it, and then the central island with the stone on it. And then they had their actual prototype metal miniatures for the 3 minions, which were the Dread Knight, the Imp, and the Lich.
Sure.
And I did talk to them because they felt a little lighter and different than the Dragoon pieces, but they are the same metal. They just felt a little different because they were spray painted, not
Sure.
they're not coated or however they're coated. So we were playing with components that were closer to the final game, which was really cool because, like you said, I had only seen pictures of the kind of black and white board.
Sure.
And I think he was saying they just got the prototype board in, the newer version, right before BFIG. It just came in.
Yeah, this was the first time I believe they were using it.
Yes. So we got a first look at it, which was very exciting.
Awesome. So did they say when this game was going to be coming to Kickstarter?
They are anticipating in the spring.
In the spring. Okay. So a few more shows. Are they bringing it to PAX Unplugged?
I'm not sure. I did not ask them that.
Rob?
I didn't ask them that, but it seems like it's going to be, if they're there, that's what's going to be there because Human Era, which was their last Kickstarter, it's done. They had final copies. I actually brought a copy home with me. The Dragoon expansion is out. So this is their kind of latest thing. So I'm guessing if they're going to be at PAX Unplugged, then Life Siphon is going to be their focus.
Sure. Okay. I mean, that makes sense. So, I really enjoyed that. That's one of those ones I think, both EFG and Upon's Perspective are going to have our eye on that as it comes to Kickstarter in the spring. If for nothing else, because the folks over at Lay Waste, they do good work, and their games are, this game is, the idea of a 4-player multiplayer game. It's relatively simple to play, and it has some interesting mechanics as far as, like, balancing your life total. I think that this will find its way to all of our tables at some point, and it's something that we'll definitely be covering and talking about on our various forms of programming as the games go through. We got to make sure. Programming note for you and me, Rob. We got to make sure that we get the launch date so we can lock in so that we can talk about it on our live shows. At least
totally.
I'm going to. May as well take advantage of the fact that we have insider information, right? So, here's what I thought we would do. So that was the one game that I knew you played that I remembered. So what I was hoping that the two of you guys would do is just kind of go back and forth talking about some of the games that you played, and obviously feel free to chime in. I am gonna play the role of a clueless parent. And I am hoping that you will try and sell me some of the games that you have seen.
Sounds good.
Your task is to get me excited about a board game. Not exactly the biggest challenge. I'm setting the bar low. But, it's a Monday night. I lost all 4 of my fantasy football games this week. I just want somebody to win something. So, Linda, why don't you go first? Tell me about a game that you played and tell me why it is awesome.
Okay, well, I'm going to start with one of the first things I played when I was there that I liked way more than I thought I was going to like. Okay. And that's Wizard.
That's Wizard. Okay.
Yes. So my sister and I actually battled. So for context for everyone else, my sister has less gaming experience than I do for card games and board games in general. And so this is a card battling game where you are playing like Harry Potter-esque 2 wizards battling, but legally distinct from Harry Potter.
Definitely legally distinct from Harry Potter.
Even though one of them is called the Boy Wizard, and I think one of them is like, it was the Dark Lord, and it's so close, but it is legally distinct.
And the designer looks like Daniel Radcliffe.
He so does. I might have told my sister she was going to meet Harry Potter.
Sure.
So, but I digress. So the nice thing for the demo is part of the game for That's Wizard is that you can build your own deck. So you can create, decide on what cards you're going to put in your deck to utilize for your game. But he had pre-made decks for us, so we could just pick which kind of character we wanted to play, and he just handed us a deck and we were ready to go. So it simplified that whole piece. And apparently there's going to be resources. So if you want to skip the building your own deck part, there's going to be pre-made deck suggestions available, so you can just skip that part completely if you don't want to. If you deal with the deck building component. For the card battling, it was incredibly easy. I was shocked. I am not proficient with card battling. I find them very uncomfortable because I'm still new to them. And within 2 hands, I felt really comfortable. There was a very nice dial for the playmat that you kept track of your health and you kept track of your magic points. He had a nicer word for that, but it escapes me at the moment. But it was very easy to keep track of everything. There were tokens for things that took place over multiple turns, which I know is a very standard deck battling component. And it was something that here are 2 inexperienced deck battling people, and we picked it up in like 2 hands.
That's pretty awesome. What's the name of the company behind That's Wizard?
Manaworks Games.
Okay.
So
yes. You 2 picked it up easily, which is awesome.
Yes.
Because that's one of the things. The fact that you're intimidated by the card battling game, and Rob, I'm sure, can chime in on this. That's not uncommon. A lot of people think of that and think, oh man, this is going to be like Magic, or it's going to be like Pokemon, and that means it's going to be this like arcane experience, and I'm never going to be able to get into it and enjoy it. And in some cases, they're legitimately right. But it's really nice to find a kind of a deck battling, card battling game that kind of gives some of that same feel, but avoids some of the extra complicated pieces. Rob,
Right.
what do you think?
I really like That's Wizard, and I, it was a few years ago when it first showed up at CT Fig, and I have to say, like, during the initial judging with the video and like the explanation, I was totally not down with this game.
I remember
and then
that.
I saw it.
I remember
Then
that.
I saw it played.
Yeah.
I saw it played at CT Fig. I'm like, wow, like the video and the initial explanation did nothing for this game. Like, it looked like a lot of fun. And then apparently this year at CT Fig, it came in way more polished. And at Boston Fig, they had their latest prototype from the Game Crafter, which looked amazing. I actually couldn't sit down to play because they were so busy. But they did send me home with their only prototype so I could preview it for them. So I have it here.
They're
And
doing a Kickstarter?
Yeah, they are
Yes.
doing a Kickstarter.
They're maybe January, but he said if they're not ready, they're going to delay, which was the wisest thing I heard the entire day.
So yeah,
So-
Steven, if you want to play, I've got it here.
All right.
Nice.
Well, we got
And I
Yes, Linda?
have a bonus card because
Oh.
I actually got a special card that will not ever be published. It will only be a promo item.
Wow.
Oh man, he
Yeah.
better have put that in the box for me.
Well, so look if you have Hide Soul, because if you don't, I do.
Awesome.
Well, look at that. Look at that. But here's the thing, Linda. They say that, but you can't count on that.
I'm not going to the bank with it, but let me have my moment of
All right, I'll let
delusion
you
that I
have
got
your
something
moment.
special.
You did. Listen, you've gotten lots of things that are special. But Rob and I both know they say it's a Kickstarter exclusive, but that doesn't mean nothing. All right. So That's Wizard. I was excited about this game. I got to tell you, my experience with this game was kind of the same as what Rob had. When I first saw it, I dismissed it immediately. Out of hand. The video was kind of boring. It was like, okay, so it's Harry Potter wizard card game, great. But every time I have heard someone speak of it since that initial touch has been nothing but positives. I'm so disappointed that I missed them at CT Fig because they were around the corner and I just didn't happen to walk there. I just got so distracted. So I can't wait to play this. So yes, Rob, we're going to have to figure it out. If their Kickstarter is going to be in January, then we certainly do have time. So yeah, super hype about that. Okay, you guys have successfully sold me on That's Wizard. Big surprise, you sold me on a card battling game based on based on not Harry Potter, but based on Harry Potter. So score 1, I guess. We're not really going to keep score because you're probably going to successfully sell me on everything. Rob, what did you play that you liked?
Well, while we're on the topic of promo cards, I do have to say, I got my Go Nuts for Donuts promo cards finally from Gamewright.
Yeah.
One of them is the bacon card, and one of them is the zombie donut.
Yeah.
And I was very, very excited.
Dude, bacon doesn't go on donuts though.
Oh, it goes on maple frosted donuts. Yes, it does.
It definitely doesn't. But that's fine. It's fine. We don't need to argue about it. It's just yeah. It just
So
doesn't.
let me
But tell me what's going on.
So some of my favorite people were the Resonym team, and they do Monarch and Visitor in Blackwood Grove, both excellent games. And they have a new game they're working on called Continental Drift.
Okay.
And what this is it's a card, right?
Yeah.
It's this, and it's got a grid on it, and it's got an island, and it's got different animals. It's got like raptors, emus, and elephants, and then there's special creatures and other special things. So do you remember playing Dots and Boxes when you were a kid?
I did.
So this is similar to that, except on your turn, you are going to cut a straight line into this card with scissors that is exactly 3 boxes long. And whatever pieces fall off this card are yours, and you'll score them at the end of the game.
Yep.
So the animal that you have the most of, you will score points in. Whereas the animal you have the second most of, you will lose points for.
Okay.
And then there's special animals. So there's T-Rexes, and they're always butting heads. But a T-Rex does not want to be on a card with another T-Rex. So you actually have to try to get a piece with just one T-Rex on it for points. Or there's a giant turtle. And if you have 20 boxes that have water on them, you get a point. And there's arcs. And if you have at least 2 of each of the main creatures, you get a point for each arc you have. So it's cool. So the first way is cool is that you're cutting. You're cutting these cards with a scissor. The second thing that's cool is every card is unique. So every board is unique. They are procedurally generated with a certain set of rules, so that they're all completely different. And this generator knows that if there's a turtle, there has to be at least 20 water tiles, and if there's a T-Rex, it has to be facing another one. So none of the boards will be unplayable. Every board is fully playable. On the back of it are the rules. Oh, and I almost forgot. And on the bottom there are 2 caves.
Okay.
And those are perforated. Each player gets a cave, and you hold the cave up to the light, and it'll show you an item that you already have that's like your secret. So it might be you have one of the regular animals already, or it might be that you have the giant turtle already, and that's your secret. And it's really cool because you can't see it unless you hold it up to the light. So that's your secret one. And I guess the goal for them, what they were thinking of kickstarting, is when you kickstart it and you get the game, you'll get X amount of these randomly generated cards to start, but you'll also get access to the generator so that once you're out of cards, you can generate new ones and print them for yourself.
Okay.
It's really simple, but really fun, and a really cool idea that you are cutting into the game to play it. I played with a really nice older woman who turned out to be the designer's mom.
Okay.
She was like super cool, and like we had a blast playing this game together and trying to figure out the best way to cut it, to optimize our moves. And I think it was just a really cool game played with a really cool person, and I left the table just like with this really good feeling. It was just an overall really cool experience.
Awesome. I have my concerns about procedural generation in games. For those listening that may be wondering what the hell procedural generation means, it means that it's designed by a computer, and generally it is designed by an algorithm. So, like, it's math that creates this thing. So it's not designed by a person. And the problem that I have with those things, not to say that this doesn't get me hyped, because this does sound like a lot of fun, and I really do love the idea of games that are where every board game is truly unique, and we're living in a time where that's actually possible, so that's exciting to me. But it's kind of like on the video game side, we talk about No Man's Sky, and the fact that it is possible to get something that is just not as fun as someone else's board. Not to say that you'll get something that's empty, because, as you said, there are rules. But, there's just that issue of, I don't necessarily know what I am getting when I buy it. So I don't know. I guess that is my only concern. But from what you described, it does sound fun. Linda, did you get a chance to play this one?
I didn't play it, but I did talk to them. It was near the time that I had to depart, so I could drive home before I fell asleep. I have fair. Actually yes. So I actually got since it was near the end of the day, they were super nice, and they let me actually take one of their boards home as a sample. So I do have one it's got all the rules on it and the directions, and so I can get photos out of that if that's something we want to do.
Yes.
But okay, it's on the list. Always. So that's something that I've got, and just a little elevator pitch that I got from them. It just intrigued me. It's such a unique element to it.
Linda, Did you see the giant scissors they had?
Yes, I did.
So they also, so Stephen, I should mention, they had a giant. The poster for the game was a giant game board. And at 5 o'clock, they actually picked 2 people to play by using these giant scissors to cut the giant poster, like for a full game. And I unfortunately missed it because I was getting ready as a Figgy presenter. But they do have some pictures of the people using the gigantic scissors to cut the gigantic board.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! If I knew they were going to do that, I would have waited a little bit to leave.
I mean, that does sound pretty awesome. So all right. So you cut the board. So this is like, I mean, I guess you can't not call it a legacy game, right? Or is this a one-time use thing? Maybe I misunderstood.
Well, the thing is the idea is when you purchase the game, you get a box of these cards. So these cards are probably about 6 by, I want to say, 8. Yeah. I have one upstairs. I have to measure it. So each card is one use because you're cutting it up.
Yeah.
The cards are probably about 11 inches tall, and the width because I have a standard piece of paper next to it. Where's my standard paper? I think they're around 11 inches tall, and they're not as wide as a standard piece of notebook paper. So I don't have a ruler handy, but it's smaller than a standard piece of paper, printer paper.
Yeah, and so you tear the bottom off, which is the 2 caves, but the rules are printed on the back of every single card too. So it's like if you just want to grab 3 or 4 on your way out of the house, it's not like you have to bring a rule book. It's a self-contained micro game, but the goal is they'll sell them in a stack.
Okay, cool. Look, that sounds all right. So I'm sold. That sounds kind of fun.
Yeah.
All right. So that is Continental Drift by Resonym. Linda.
Yes.
This wasn't part of the showcase, but I saw that you did you get your hands on Forbidden Sky?
I didn't get to play it, but I got to see it up close and personal.
Okay.
So they weren't doing full demos.
But they weren't. Well, yeah, I don't think they really needed to. The game's just flying off the shelf. Why bother doing the work? So can you tell me what the heck is up with that game?
Oh my goodness, it is so cool. So it's battery operated, so I'm going to start with that because it lights up and makes sounds. So that I was not expecting. I don't know if you had heard that part, but that kind of blew me away. I thought I had seen it, but again, I just knew that they were sending it to me at some point, so I kind of didn't put. It was kind of back of mind, but I saw some battery stuff happening. Yes,
on the Instagrams.
So the idea is it's the next step in the story of the Forbidden series. So now, in Forbidden Desert, you leave with the plane, and now you're up in the sky and stuff happens. And now electricity is the commodity you're trying to harness and is also the thing trying to kill you. So you're literally trying to build a circuit.
Okay.
There are discs that you put down. So let me back up. You actually are laying tiles on this game. In the other games, the tiles were laid out at the beginning of the game. In this game, you are laying tiles to build your terrain as you go. And you're trying to build circles to put these discs down that have a metal edge because you're going to literally be building a circuit to activate the rocket. And as you go through, just like in Forbidden Island and Forbidden Desert, there's event cards that do terrible things to you and try to kill you because the world is trying to get you. And you can be struck by lightning or you can be blown off the edge and take damage. So you're trying to not get struck by lightning, and there's some elements of the game that allow you to be protected during lightning strikes. You have your rope to try to keep you safe when the wind blows. Just like in Forbidden Island and Forbidden Desert, there are different character cards. Everybody has a special power.
Yep.
And so basically you're trying to go through and build the terrain to allow you to build your circuit. And you lay down these discs, and there are connectors, these little, they look kind of like sticks when I could see them, but they're these little cylinders. The bottom is metal or metallic, so it can create that circuit connection. And you go through, and so as a team, you're trying to complete the circuit so that the rocket will light up And just like in Forbidden Island and Forbidden Desert, I keep saying this, but it's a very similar element. All the people have to be at the rocket site to successfully leave. So a lot of parallels.
That sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Rob, did you get a chance to touch it, or?
I didn't get a chance to play with it or play the game, just to kind of make a quick circuit and watch it light up and make sounds. But I believe a copy is on the way.
Yeah, that's the word on the street that we got also. So I can't wait to get my hands on that one. The fact that it lights up and all that's going to make some great Instagram videos. Super hype about that. The fact, like, this is just one of those things where I have been wanting, like, I don't know about you, Rob, but, like, you know, I have sat with the General and we've been like, you know, they've got to do another Forbidden game. Like, what are they going to do? And we've talked about, like, what the next one had to be. You know, because first it was Island, then it was Desert. I thought it was going to be Mountain. Just I thought that was, like, the next natural biome that they could pick. Because I was using Minecraft biomes as, like, the thing. Which, realistically, if you think about it, that's really not a bad place to look, right? Like, you know, they could have done, like, Forbidden Taiga. And I only have Taiga in my mind because of Minecon Earth over the weekend. We'll talk about that on the video game pod next week. But, you know, like, but then Forbidden Sky, right? Like, that makes total sense. It's perfect. So I'm guessing you get into the Forbidden Sky in the ship that you built in Forbidden Desert. Is that, like, kind of what happens?
I'm not familiar with the storyline because, to be completely honest, even though I know of Forbidden Desert, I have never played that one.
You've never played Forbidden Desert?
I have Forbidden Island, and I've played that. I have never played Forbidden Desert.
All right, so we'll loan you Forbidden Desert so you can play it. Because I think it'll be important. Because I think, especially if they're going to be sending you Forbidden Sky, I think it'll be important to play Forbidden Desert just so you have context.
Okay. Cool.
I think that's just one of those things that makes sense. But man, yeah, these are really... Alright, so, I mean, obviously, Forbidden Sky, I was hype about. Literally, when they showed off a teaser trailer before Gen Con that was just thunder. Like, literally just thunder. I was like, oh no, it's another Forbidden game. And I immediately, like, hyped out, which is different than hulking out. I hyped out and, like, flailed my arms about, like, Kermit and, like, ran around my living room. Which both
Did you at least get that on video?
No, I didn't. I wish I had.
You missed that window.
You know what? Speaking of, if you guys think I get hype, you should see my oldest during a Nintendo Direct. Because, holy moly, like, when they announced Civilization 6 for the Nintendo Switch, that kid, God bless his heart, lost his damn mind. Like, just literally just lost his damn mind. He was just like, I'm gonna backflip around the moon because of Civilization 6 on the Switch. Now, that's sick to death. But, yeah. So, if you think I get hype, you guys haven't seen nothing. I had to tell him to calm down.
That was my son when Fortnite Monopoly showed up. Like,
I mean, how old is your son?
He's 13.
Yeah, it makes sense. Fortnite Monopoly would do that. Did he do one of the Fortnite dances?
He was doing them as he was trying to look over my shoulder while I was taking it out of the box. Like,
all right. Does he have a specific Fortnite dance of choice?
He does the Dark Souls one a lot. I don't know what it's called.
Oh, he praises the sun?
No, the Praising the Sun is the one with the arms up. He does the other one with the arms are down. And
those are best. That's called Best Mates.
Best Mates. That's the one.
That's fine. Linda's son flosses.
Yes.
So
do most of the children at my school.
Occasion. Yeah, they floss on occasion, but Best Mates seems to be his.
Because Best Mates is
generic mode of transportation around the house. Like,
Best Mates is like a meme, though. Like, that's the thing. Like, Best Mates is like. I'll have to show you. Just you have to look it up, Linda, because I doubt you know what it is. Just look it up. You'll know what I mean.
I probably have seen it at school.
Evan legit does it, but he doesn't do it. But his new thing is he tries to do the default dance, but he can't. So he does like half of it, and it looks like he's just kind of clapping while having a seizure. It's really not great. But
Why
okay.
isn't the Carlton more popular? Like,
You know what? Here's the thing. My son saw a video of Carlton doing the Carlton, and he was like, "Why is this dude doing a Fortnite dance?"
no. They're doing the Carlton.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what we had to explain. We're like, "No, this show came out in the '90s." And he's like, "No, he's doing Stay Fresh." And we're like, no. That came from a show called The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And, well, and then I had to respond to all this. This is totally a non sequitur, but people who listen understand the Fortnite dance problem. I showed them that World of Warcraft does the dances too.
Right, yeah.
Because every race and, every race has a dance for both the male and female characters, and so I went and I was like, check out what the orc does. And they're like, why is that orc dancing that way? I'm like, because he's doing the MC Hammer dance. And then they were like, oh, so like this isn't new. And I'm like, no, it's not. That doesn't make it less awesome. I'm very happy that they did it. It's super smart, and they have made so many dollars. But it's like they have made so many dollars off of really what is super inconsequential, but I can't even get mad. All right, so we have gotten through literally 4 games, and it was an entire festival. So let's do some more. So that's Forbidden Sky by Gamewright. Rob, what else did you play?
Okay, so a lot of people are probably going to think I'm crazy, but one of my absolute favorite games of the show was called Schrodinger's Cat.
Okay.
So this is literally like a little micro game, and it's more meta than not. So what you do is you get a cat and you get 4 little cards and in like a little box. And I mean little. So what you do is you and another player or 2 teams of players, you name this cat, whatever you want to name it. It's a really cute little drawing, and you put it in the box.
Okay.
And then one player or team takes the role of the cat wrangler.
Yep. And
one player or team takes the role of the scuba diver.
Okay.
Now, the cat wrangler can decide whether they have 2 cards, and they can decide whether the cat in the box is wearing a scuba helmet or not wearing a scuba helmet.
Okay.
And the scuba diver can decide if it's going to put in an air tank or a tank full of poison. And each player or team will put one of their cards into the box and then literally eat the other one. Like, it's edible. It will dissolve on your tongue. Or you can dissolve it in water. But the point is that there is absolutely no evidence left of what card you put in to the box.
Okay.
And now this box is sealed with a little label that says something along the lines of warning, potential cat murder. And the players need to decide whether they're going to open this box and find out if they've killed this poor little cat or it survived, or if they're not going to open the box and the cat could be alive or could be dead. So it's this really silly, just like $2 meta game. And the woman who made it said, like, she's had players of teams who just keep passing the box back and forth because they all refuse to open it and possibly murder this cat. And of course, when I played it with her, I'm like, nope, we're opening it like right now. And our cat was still alive, and it was all good. But it's just the kind of the silly micro nature of it, that you put these cards in and then you literally dispose of the other ones, so there's no way to tell what's in the box without cracking the seal. I really loved it, and I was talking about it with a few people, and some people were looking at me like I was crazy, like, why is this awesome? And I'm like, because it's cool. You could eat the other card. I don't know. I really enjoyed it.
I mean, were you hungry? Is that what made you want, like, was this just like the snack you needed at that exact moment?
Oh, no. I thought it was really cool.
All right.
Okay. Because really, at that point is the cat can be alive or dead until you open that box, because there's no other way to tell, because you've gotten rid of the evidence of the contrary.
I mean, okay. All right. That's okay. So I don't want to say that I'm not hype because that would be off-brand for me. But this just seems weird. But that's
It is. It's just a weird little, like I said, it's like a weird little $2 game that this woman makes. But I sat down and I just thought it was super charming.
So all right, who made this game? These weird people.
It's just one woman. Her business card is upstairs. I should have brought it down. And they come in these little handmade black boxes with these dissolvable cards and illustrations of cute cats.
I wonder if they're on Board Game Geek. I will look. I'm gonna look because I'm a professional.
You are a professional, and I am just kind of like sitting on my couch in my PJs, like chilling right now.
That's okay. Yeah, you're the one. You guys it's not on here, but that's okay. It's fine.
I'm trying to look it up on the BFIG site to see if I can at least get a link for it. I saw this when I was walking around, and because of the is the cat alive or dead theme, it made me feel a little uncomfortable as far as family game. I mean, older children could handle it, but I'm thinking of some of the younger ones that I know, and I think that would be harder for them to feel comfortable. So
also, I don't want to feed my kids those things.
Well, there's that too.
But you know what? I'm happy that it exists, and Rob, I'm happy that it makes you happy.
Yes,
How about
I have it created by.
That makes me happy.
Oh, created by whom?
So it looks like it's pronounced IKantKoanan. It's IKantKoan. The K's are capital. So, but it's printed as all one word.
Sure.
Interesting. I'll have to track down the business card and see if there's a website on there.
If you could let me know so I could let the producer know for the show notes. So that's Schrodinger's cat. Linda, what else did you play?
So I played a little game that I found intriguing called Penguin Slap. It is actually it is yes. What I liked about it is there is no actual.
I don't know why I find that so funny.
Well, what the first thing I said is there actual slapping? Is it like Slamwich? Was there actual slapping of cards in the game? There is no actual slapping, so that element of craziness that can come from a slapping game is eliminated. There is a slap card, but it doesn't get quite as crazy. Super cute. The graphics on it are absolutely adorable. So you're trying to catch fish, and it does have player elimination. If you run out of cards, you're not necessarily out of the game. So it's like quasi player elimination because you can kind of come back in, but you're limited. And then it's sort of a reverse Uno. The last person with fish wins. So
all right.
It's really cute.
Yeah, it looked super cute. I saw some of the pictures.
Yes.
This is definitely intended for the younger set.
Absolutely. Definitely.
And it's funded on Kickstarter right now, right?
Yes, it funded in under 24 hours. They had a modest $1,000 goal, and they're at about $1,600. So they're ones that I was talking about maybe trying to feature them on our Kickstarter.
Yeah, we got to get that going again. So hopefully
Yep.
they will do that. Listen, you know what? 100% funded in under 24 hours. Doesn't matter if they only had a $1,000 goal. They're almost doubling it.
It's true.
They're going to get this game done. The artwork is adorable. And it's Penguin Slap. And they're slapping each other with fish. I did okay, so if you go to the Kickstarter page, there is 100% a Smash Brothers reference. Rob, I don't know if you've been to their Kickstarter page for Penguin Slap.
I have not.
They have a sombrero penguin is ready to slap in the Smash Brother. Like, it looks like it's on a Smash Brothers announcement screen.
That's awesome.
Oh man, I am all in on these guys right now. They don't understand how excited I am for this game now.
Yeah. It's super cute.
I will say that this is one of the games I got to judge.
Yeah.
Out of the 5 family games that I had, this one was the one that all 4 of my kids could be less interested in. They didn't dig it.
Okay.
And I mean, it is super cute, and the artwork is super awesome. But in our household, this one just did not go over well.
That's fair. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Exactly,
it's not
and
for
everybody has
but...
their It's not for everybody. It's a super cute game, and I mean this company, man, their booth was packed full of people playing and having a great time all day long.
Yeah, I think this is one of those games that that will demo very well. It's a fun, it's a fun looking experience. I would imagine that, like, Linda, like our kids, this really feels like something that our younger kids would just be all in on.
And that fits the, kind of where my brain ends up with a lot of these. I tend to gravitate to the ones for the younger sets.
Yeah.
And this absolutely fits the bill. And if anyone's interested in the Kickstarter, to get a copy of the game, it's $15.
Yeah, it's real low.
I mean, it's nice low price point. Nice, it's just a card game. There's no pieces to lose, no little tokens. It's just a card game. So it's something that is, perfect for portability. So this is something that I'm definitely eyeing for my family because it's something silly, but it doesn't have physical slapping, which tends to escalate the craziness.
That's fair.
It keeps it that in between. When I played it, there were two young teenagers that I was playing with, and it was hysterical. One of the guys, he for some reason decided he was going to do any kind of take of that thing he could do. It was targeted at me. It was hysterical, and the banter we had back and forth just made the game even more fun. It was just a blast.
Awesome. All right, so that is Penguin Slap. What's the name of the company behind that?
So they apparently just came up with their name. They are Low Sodium Games, and their little tag on it is NaH for the sodium symbol. So I thought that was really fun.
Low sodium games. All right.
Yes.
So there's no salt.
There's no salt.
You get
yes,
that, Rob?
I got.
Yeah. All right.
I get that.
All right, kid. There's no
Draw
salt.
me a picture, but I got it.
All right. Hey, man. Listen. I'm the host. Sometimes I gotta illustrate things. It's part of my responsibility.
All good.
Okay, so that's Penguin Slap. Rob, what else you got for me?
So, Leave Me Alone.
Oh man, I want to talk about Leave Me Alone. I want to know how much it changed. Tell me about Leave Me Alone.
So this is from Parajax Games. Jeff Johnston, who did Moonquake Escape, Roasted and Toasted, and Flashlights and Fireflies.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I believe.
Yes.
This is basically a game about jumping in piles of leaves.
Yep.
And you have a kind of like a lever.
Yep.
And on your lever is listed the type of leaves that you want to collect.
Yep.
And all these leaves, so I think there's 3 different types of leaves in 4 different colors, I want to say, or maybe 3 different colors. And they're scattered about. Yep. And you have to, on your turn, try to grab the leaves that you need to stack on your lever, but other players can put tokens down to block leaves so they can't be taken. So then you fill up your ramp, and if you can actually complete all of the, if you can get every type of leaf you need, you get a point. If not, you just leave your leaves on your ramp, and then it moves to the next player. And once every player has gathered leaves, now we're gonna jump in the leaves, and you do this by slamming your hand down on the lever and flinging your leaf tiles into the air and trying to land them on your score dial.
Yep. Okay.
And whoever has the most leaves on their score dial gets a bunch of points, and I think everybody else gets 1 point for having at least something. And there's an extra token that'll let you take an extra guess, because you can, if you can't find the type of leaf that you want, you could try to flip a leaf over to see if it's the color you want. And there's also wild leaves, but one of them says stop on the back, which means you immediately lose your turn. And you keep playing that way, but at the very end of the game, there's a grand finale where you just load up on leaves and do one last fling. It's just a really cute, family-friendly game, but but hitting that lever and sending those leaves flying is extremely satisfying. I had a lot of fun. I actually played with two of the booth helpers while Jeff explained just how things went, and I had fun. This is one I think my kids would love because it's kind of quick. Grab tiles and then you're flipping them. Very simple. Takes like a minute or two to learn how to play, and it just has that physical dexterity component that's a lot of fun.
Sure. Now this is one of those games where he's looking for a publisher, right?
He's looking for a publisher. He's still tweaking it. Apparently, this version that we played at Boston Fig, there had been some major changes to it, and I think I saw on his Facebook or Twitter that like on the way home or something, he thought of something else. So it's gonna change again, but he is looking for a publisher.
And it's changed so much from last year. He had a really early prototype at last Boston Fig, and it's just amazing to see how much it's changed over just 1 year, how much he's tweaked it.
Well, he is a professional. Right?
He is. He's
Jeff Johnson knows
out.
what he is doing.
Yep.
We got to get him on here at some point. Just
Agreed.
because he's a super interesting, entertaining guy. He's very animated. And
he's very passionate about what he does.
Yeah, exactly. And he is a professional. He just, I'm sure he has half a dozen more games in the tank that he's working on, but he seems to be the kind of guy that lives by riding the epiphany wave. I don't know why that's how he strikes me, but he just strikes me as the kind of dude that's just like, oh, boom, I got an idea, and just runs with it. So he's probably like slowly pushing like 6 cars down the road all at once. I'm sure that this game is going to find a publisher. It's just a matter of time. Because I didn't get to play at CT Fig, but I did get to actually do the thing where I hit the rake and sent stuff flying, and I was like, okay, this is just prototype stuff. Someone has got to have an idea on how to actually make this and make it more fun by having like that tangible element. So someone's gonna do it. I'm sure of it. Best of luck to Jeff for Leave Me Alone. I saw the pictures of it and I was like, all right, he's gonna keep going. I was worried. I don't know why I was worried after CT Fig that he might have like kind of abandoned it, but no, he knows what he's doing. Did he have like bears at bedtime?
Nope.
Or
he didn't have barely asleep.
I was super bummed because I really wanted to play that.
I talked to him about that actually because he and I had been brainstorming behind the scenes a little bit about Barely Asleep, and he's toying with the idea of a retheme because the game mechanics are a little advanced for the theme.
Yeah.
So he's toying with maybe a more sophisticated theme.
Yeah.
To better fit with the mechanics, but that's still just kind of bubbling around in his brain. So,
I guess that makes sense.
Yep, it's still percolating, and
that's a game that needed some work.
Yes.
Barely Asleep. I get what he was. I was picking up what he was putting down when I played it. But yeah, I was like, I think it needs some work. Obviously, it did. He knows what he's doing, so not even kind of worried about that guy. He'll be okay.
Absolutely.
So what else do we got? So that's Leave Me Alone. Linda, tell me another game you enjoyed. Actually, I'd like to hear what Crystal enjoyed. Was there anything particularly that caught her? Because she's not really super game.
No. It's funny. We didn't really have a chance to kind of debrief after it because literally, like, we were both kind of fried, and she, got me back to the tee, and we divided and went our separate ways and really haven't really talked. So okay. I'm not sure what struck her. I'd be interested to go chat and see. She definitely seemed to enjoy That's Wizard. I'm trying to think what else. We sat down and played. The two of us played Rat Race a little bit, and that was something that was at CT Fig that they have been doing some more tweaking on. And I didn't play it at CT Fig, and I made it a point to go check in with them at BFIG, and I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did.
Okay, and which game is that?
So this is Rat Race, Escape the Sewers.
Okay.
It's designed by Triple Decker Games. That's the one where you're collecting trash cards, and based on the cards, there's different stability points on it and different height points. And you've used 2 different trackers, and you're trying to track your height and the stability of it, and you're trying not to have everything collapse. And you have to roll die to see if your stack collapses or not.
Yeah, and this like 100% sounds like not your game.
No, and it was really cute. There are each player gets a rat leader card, and like typical different characters, they all have their different powers and attributes. And we just did an abbreviated version, of course, because we were just demoing. But I mean, just a couple rounds we got to play, we got the flavor of the game, and very easy to play. They listed as 13 up, but I think it's one of those, it's 13 plus for legal reasons and simplicity reasons.
Sure, that happens.
Playability, yes. Playability wise, definitely could be done probably 8 or 9 plus.
Sure.
We picked it up. Yeah.
What's the name of the company?
Triple Decker Games.
Triple Decker. They were at
Yes.
CT Fig. I walked past them too.
Yes. Yes.
And I dismissed it. This is a problem that I have. This is bad luck. Rob, I guess I got to start programming myself. Like, if I think I'm going to dismiss it, I really should just not dismiss it. Because, between this and That's Wizard, I'm missing out on stuff.
This is one that I hadn't seen until Boston Fig, and unfortunately I did just dismiss it, and I kept walking.
Yeah. So because it was the second time, and honestly, their booth alone just looked more polished, so it made me want to just check in with them. And it was nice to say, hey guys, I saw you at CT Fig. What's new? And they actually had a lot to say that was new. So, I mean, CT Fig wasn't that long ago. So in a really short amount of time, 2 months? Something like that. They've done a lot of tweaking. They had changed some things on the cards. They had changed some things on the trash. They had, so there's a lot of thought they've put into this in just a short period of time.
Awesome.
And yeah, so that's something they are currently looking for a publisher. And honestly, with what I saw, I think they've got a better chance than when I first laid eyes on it a couple months ago. They are contemplating the idea of Kickstarter if nothing plays out, but I think they really would rather just find a publisher for it. So
all right,
that's sort of their plans.
All right. So I will be hyped for this game. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
So that's Rat Race Escape the Sewers.
Yes.
Let's do one more because we've been at this for a bit. Rob, bring us home.
I actually did not play anything else. There was
fine.
A few games that I've played already that were there. Born to Serve from Shoot Again Games, which is about superheroes in a failing superhero economy, and they're all fighting over the last job, which is a job waiting tables at a local restaurant. And so each superhero can use their powers. So basically, like the guy's like, whoever does the best job gets the position. So these superheroes are using their superpowers to wait tables to see who gets this job.
Okay.
There was Magnets, the game, which my kids have been playing all summer, which is similar to marbles. You're chucking magnets into a ring and trying to get them to stick in towers of 4.
Okay.
It's really portable, really cool, really inexpensive. There's Ice Fortress from Geek Fever Games, which I absolutely love. It's like a cooperative game where you're trying to build these towers and light these beacons to ward off invaders.
Yeah,
I got to play that one too.
And you didn't play that because you've already played it.
Yeah, right. So these are games that I've already
You've already played.
Yeah,
I got to play Ice Fortress, and that was the one in the photos that I posted that was with the dice supporting the cards and those towers.
Yep.
That was that one. That one was a lot of fun. Hard though.
Did you guys win when you played?
What was that?
Did you win when you played?
No, actually, I was talking to Tim, who's the designer for Geek Fever Games that was there, and he said when I played, it was later in the day, and we barely lost. Like we were so close to winning, and like it just fell apart at the end. And he said only one team had won the entire day.
It is a fantastic game, and I told Tim I should probably never play again. I've played twice, and my win record is 100% right now. So
that's crazy.
If I just quit while I'm ahead.
Yes.
Yes,
you're at 8,000. Just stop.
Yeah, that is a fantastic game. They're looking for a publisher for that. And there's one more game that I saw I didn't play and I can't wait to that I'd love to talk about. It's from Asmodee Games.
Okay.
And it's a storytelling game, and the name escapes me. But they have these maps that are watercolor paintings. It's like a sci-fi storytelling game, similar to like Legacy of Dragonholt, but with a card mechanic for actions. So it's almost like a choose-your-own-adventure, and cards go out on this map. But what caught my eye was these beautiful, and they're like multi-layered watercolor paintings. So the artist will do watercolor painting and then watercolor over that and then watercolor over that for these really kind of surreal alien landscapes.
Okay.
And it looked super cool. This is one that is definitely on my radar. They're going to be kickstarting it soon.
Okay.
And I can't find the name of it, and I actually lost their business card. Because I wanted to come home and immediately email them and be like, I need to preview this game. So now I have to try to find out what it was called so I can get in touch with them.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's too bad. But I'm sure you'll see them, with all the groups that you're in on Facebook. I'm sure you will find them.
I will.
Hashtag misconnections. Hashtag misconnections.
Yeah.
So, man, all in all, and here's this. We had a whole hour worth of talking about games, and we didn't even go upstairs to the video game section, which is normally where I hang out at least a little bit. And I found some really cool stuff. But that's BFIG. Obviously that's going to end the convention season for EFG, but there is still one more big show, and that's PAX Unplugged. Rob will be there, and we will have you back on because you're regularly on.
I may be trying to go there. That's still questionable, but I'm keeping my irons in the fire.
My convention season is mostly shut down unless something very... I mean, you know what? Maybe it isn't over. It really depends on Friday. So, but man, we'd be cutting it super close. These are all games. This is what's so crazy, right? Board games have grown so fast that these are all cool games that really should, that do deserve their time in the spotlight. And I'm sure that we missed a half a dozen games that are worth looking at that we just didn't have time for, right? There's just so many good games. Video games are having the same problem. I mean, how many video game fans right now are like, do I platinum Spider-Man in time for Assassin's Creed to finish it before Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out? And it's like, I mean, admittedly, those are not kid problems, but like those games are all happening at the same time. It's madness, I tell you. And by the way, Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out in less than 4 months. Can you even believe that, Rob? This is non sequitur. Can you even believe that that's a thing?
I didn't think it was ever going to come out, really. Like
Linda, you're going to be able to come to my house and watch, because I doubt you're going to... I don't think John has any plans to buy this.
I don't know. He played a lot of the original Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, he did? All right, well then...
He did. I watched many hours of it.
All right,
and he still played it for
sleep,
like 10 minutes.
And he still doesn't sleep, so...
it may yet come to our house.
Oh, I mean, I will have it, so he'll probably play it when I'm done. Kind of like Spider-Man.
Kind of like Spider-Man. That's coming soon.
Well, I mean, he needs it for... we're saving it for his surgery, although he's going to have to... I almost recommend, because he's going to be out down for the count for like a month. I think Red Dead Redemption is probably a better call for him. But
yeah, but he's not going to be out of work for a month. He doesn't have. He can be back typing in a couple days, so he's only going to lose a couple days. It's not like his foot. He's not going to be hopped up on like crazy meds and incapacitated for like weeks. It's like
no fun. Yeah. All right. Well then, yeah, Spider-Man will be better. Anyway,
Spider-Man, perfect.
That's total non sequitur, folks. But listen, the EFG podcast is all about sidebars. So, this has been episode 151. I do hope that you folks enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed recording. Next week, we'll be back to talk about video games. Specifically, we're going to talk about a new Minecraft game coming next year, as well as some other changes coming to Minecraft in general. We will be, and we will also be going over all of the video games on our holiday gift guide for 2018. And a little spoiler for the next board game podcast, we'll be going over our holiday gift guide for board games in our next board game podcast. Because guess what? It's holiday time, whether you like it or not, folks. And so we're just, record some podcasts and do some stuff. Spoiler alert, I'm going to talk an awful lot about Super Smash Brothers next week. But among other things, there's actually a list of about 23 games that I'm recommending. So there's something for everybody. We're going to go over that. But before we go, we have two things. One, it's tonight's favor. I do have a favor for everybody. Everyone listening to this knows one person that needs to listen to this show that just doesn't listen to it yet. The favor for me, and I sit here hat in hand, is put this show in front of that person. I don't care really how you do it, as long as it's polite. And even then, I'm not here to judge. But just put this podcast in front of somebody else. Maybe share it in a Facebook group. Send it to a family member. I don't know. Help spread the word. Bigger audience means bigger things. We get more access to show you cool things. So that's the first act. The second one is I want you to go into your little podcast app that you use to download this one, and I want you to subscribe to Upon's Palaver, or Palaver. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's Palaver.
Palaver.
Is it Palaver? All right, it's Palaver, and that is Rob's other podcast. That is an interview show where every week he has someone new, and it's awesome. You're how many episodes you in? 13 now?
I just posted the 13th. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's getting there. He started it as a joke, more or less, because he was bored, and now all of a sudden it's like a whole part of his content plan. Let's make it so he keeps doing it by actually downloading his show. That sounds fair, right?
That sounds fair. Thank you.
No problem. Of course we want to plug your stuff. So, Rob, where else on the internet can people find you?
People can find me at pawnsperspective.com, and then, of course, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. But now they can also find me at apawsperspective.tumblr.com, and that is a blog about gamers' pets. So,
God, you are such a
gamers who... Yes, so gamers that have pets can send me a picture of their pets. It doesn't have to be with a board game. Just send me a picture of your pets with a little bio, and I will put it on this silly little Tumblr blog. It was like Jamie Stegmaier once posted on Twitter, somebody should do a Tumblr about gamers' pets because he loves his cats. And I was really bored one night, and I'm like, I don't want to work. And I'm like, I'm going to put this Tumblr together, and it's going to be stupid and awesome. So I need more pets to post on this thing.
I mean, I will definitely do that just because, I'll do it for the links. You know what I mean? I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
I need those hot links going to engagefamilygaming.com, etc. So I will make sure to get one. So Linda, you are on the Instagram as what?
Dragon Rose 720.
And you are on the Twitter as?
So it's moms_stories.
Okay.
And on both of those, there'll be all kinds of board game pictures. But if people are interested, there's the saga of my home renovation is being documented along there, as well as random things with my classroom and my children and my garden. So there's a big diversity, and so fun to watch.
Absolutely. We want people to follow you there. And as you know, you can find us. Just search Engage Family Gaming on every social media site you can possibly find. And you'll probably find us, even if it's just a placeholder, and we would love to follow there. So, like I said before, this has been episode 151. We appreciate you taking the time to listen to us. It is our honor and pleasure to provide you the information that you need. I want you guys to have a great week. We'll see you next time, and don't forget to get your family game on. We'll see you later, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, we did it.
Yay.
We did the thing. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for listening to Engage, a family gaming podcast.
Thank you for listening. Tune in next week.